Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well. We're back with another What Sold. This is a different location. I'm actually on vacation right now up in June Lake, California. If you've ever been here or heard about it, I've heard of Mammoth, California. It's in the same area. Super beautiful place. We're actually in a cabin. You can kind of see a little different layout here, but it's awesome. Definitely enjoy coming up. So my in-laws and their family have been coming up for quite a few years now, and then I got to join in when I married in. So it's been a lot of fun. I went fishing today, didn't catch anything, but it was still, I didn't, they did, but it was fun to be out there and just to be out in nature and everything and get away. But still want to do a video just because I want to try to stay caught up, and videos are not really work to me, I guess. It's still kind of fun, so I figured it was okay. I'm taking a work from eBay stuff, but we'll get into it here. So let's go to the first item. This is a book that I got from a big book lot I had. It had a lot of, I've mentioned this before, it was 10 bucks for a bunch of books. A lot of them were centered around like Africa, like different civilizations, different Egyptian like texts and stuff from there, as well as a lot of civil rights stuff. This particular book came from that lot as well. I just looked it up and there were some comps that ended up selling for 20 bucks. Again, I like selling books, they're pretty easy. Here's a CD. This came from the My Pet Monster buy. It's Five Fingers Death Punch, A Decade of Destruction. This one sold for 12 shipped. Nothing too crazy there. Another hip-hop cassette. This is the KRS-One. I don't really know much about it, but this was one ended up selling for 13 shipped. I sold a couple KRS, I guess, cassettes. I think there were like 3 or 4, and all of them seemed to be pretty valuable on their own, so that was awesome. Another item here is Hogan's Alley for the original Nintendo. This one sold for $7.19 on sale. This is a 20% off sale, so obviously it's been listed for quite a bit of time. You can see there's a Sharpie mark on there. I didn't even take it off because the game wasn't that valuable. I just didn't take the time to, I guess, make that extra step. A little bit of laziness on my part probably, but it still ended up selling for $7.19. Here is a bad buy. This was a Reebok Great Britain 3XL like polo quarter zip, I guess is what you want to call it. This one I paid $5 for. Had it listed at $25. I've gotten no offers on this thing for a long time. Someone offered $15 and I just took it and said, let's get it out of here. So it ended up costing like $7, $7.52 to ship it in the padded flat rate. It was pretty heavy. We may have made $1 maybe or something like that. Maybe not, who knows. So it wasn't really a great deal, but I'm trying to get rid of as many clothing items as I can. Here's a pretty cool one here. This is a Lemax or Lemix Spooky Town animated house. I've said this before that I got 4 or 5 of these for 30 bucks. None of them had power cords. They all had issues, damaged parts on them. I couldn't verify they worked. I ended up finding a couple of random power cords that had the right voltage so I could test them out, and then I found out most of them still had issues. But I sold most as is for parts, and they ended up selling pretty well. This one sold for 61 shipped on a best offer. Had it listed at 80. I think this was the cheapest one to sell. I think some sold for like 90. One sold for 70. I think one got 65. So if you find these spooky towns, especially if they have the power cord and they're mint in the box, some of them go for crazy money. Here's another item here. I got a bunch of free books from probably 2 years ago or something like that. It's been a long time, but these ones ended up selling for 30 bucks. I guess they were Chinese books, like about history and American history, all different kinds of history and stuff like that. These ones sold for 30 bucks on a best offer. They cost 17 to ship, so we didn't make a whole lot, but happy to get them out of the inventory. They were super heavy. Another item here is East Side Story, volumes 2, 5, and 11. These came from the CD buy that I've mentioned before, where some of them were water damaged. These ones were not. One was just disc only, but the other 2 have the disc, and they sold for 20 shipped pretty quickly. And if you have the whole set of these East Side Story ones, you can do really well. Here is a pair of Vans Lindsay skateboard shoes. They looked cool. They had a pink on them. I figured someone would want them. They're from a big Nike buy. I had a bunch of mostly Nike shoes, but there were a couple of Vans, and there was some PF Flyers in there, I think, and a couple of Adidas, but mostly Nike shoes. And we spent 300 and something bucks that day, and we ended up selling just this one pair for 40 bucks. So pretty good deal. Here are some Ultra Pro 4x6 photo refill packs. There are 3 of those, and there's also one 5x7 pack. These are what you can like put in a little binder, I think, and they have little like things to put your photos in. This set of 4 sold for 20 shipped. I paid $1 a piece for these at a thrift store. Wasn't really a great deal because they ended up costing like 8 or 9 bucks to ship it. So again, we made some money, but they sold on the best offer. Happy to get rid of stuff that's not moving. Some pretty cool Star Wars Order 66. There are actually 4 little packs of figures here, like 4 little tubes. These were from the $1,600 Lego and Toy Buy, and we ended up selling these for $85 shipped on the best offer. They were originally listed at $125, but I was just really happy to get an offer so close to $100. I've sold through most of that those toys and those Legos, and I'm just trying to get rid of the last bit of stuff. Still make some good money, obviously, but move it out and make room for new stuff. Some other little Disney figures here. There's 9 of these ones. We ended up selling these for $27 shipped on the best offer. I didn't know what they were from. I thought they might be like cake toppers or some kind of to a board game or something. That's what they look like based on the pieces. That's my son knocking on the other door if you hear him. But if you, I went into this Facebook group called the Action Figure Identification Group or whatever it's called, something like that. You may have heard of it before. I put a picture of these guys, and the first couple people said the same thing I did. Oh, it's probably a cake topper, or it's probably from some board game. One person finally came through and say they were Disney collector packs. Once I typed that in, boom, found them, and these ones ended up selling for $27 shipped on the best offer. There's different series, so I could have gone through and found out what series it was for, but for me it just really wasn't worth the time. I think I had like a couple bucks in them, and getting 27 shipped for first class. They're only like this big, they're really tiny, but it is a good source. If you guys remember that action figure identification guide on Facebook, you can put a picture of an action figure in there, and most times someone in there will find out what the name of that figure is, what line it's from, you know, what year it came out, something like that, and give you the information you need, and you can use it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's super helpful. And be sure to thank everyone in the group because they do spend their time doing it, but there's some just really, really smart people when it comes to action figure stuff. Here's a Sunbeam Le Chef food processor lid. This is an older machine, not too valuable. I had it for a long time in the inventory. I hadn't even listed it. It was in the death pile. Finally got around to listing it. It didn't come with a blade, which is why I think it took me so long to list it, because usually the blades for me sell pretty quickly. On this one, the top ended up selling for $18 shipped. It did not have the pusher in it. It cost only like 14 ounces or something to ship it, so it still went out under £1, but not really the greatest buy. But you can part out kitchen parts and do really well, so don't let that one scare you away from selling kitchen stuff. Here's a t-shirt here, not a t-shirt, Hawaiian shirt. This is a Go Barefoot brand. It had like a tribal style to it. This one sold for $14.03 on sale. It's been up for quite a while. You can tell by the background. It just doesn't really look that great of a picture, but finally sold. I think we paid about $3 or $4 for this, and I got one more Go Barefoot one left, and hopefully it'll sell pretty soon too. Here are some Sony Dv Cams. These are like video cassette tapes, kind of older technology, not really super desirable. I bought these from one, he was a reseller. He bought storage units and he also sold online, but he was kind of closing everything down, an older guy. And he had a bunch of this old media, and I paid $40 for all of it. I thought I was getting this too. I didn't look it up. I'm like, oh, all this stuff's got to be worth good money. There were some micro cassettes that sold really well. They were sealed, but it's taken a long time to get rid of most of this. These little groups sold for $30 shipped on a best offer, I believe is what it was. And so basically went out for I think 8 or 10 to ship them. So we made some money. There ended up being one gem in there that sold for like 80 or 90 bucks for a whole set of cassettes. So that was pretty good. We definitely profited on the deal, but in the end it took a long time to get through it. The old media still moves. Here is a VHS I got from the big $5 VHS buy. I had about 2 buckets for $5. Just took a chance, didn't really even look them up. Found a few good ones in it. This one was actually sealed, and it sold for $11.69. Here is a Homemedics percussion massager. These ones do so well for me. Some people don't want to pick up the massagers, but my wife thinks it's kind of weird. But I still pick them up because as long as they work, you can make pretty good money on. This one was $5, came in the box. It was used, but had a couple of extra attachments. I sold it for $47 shipped, I think in about a week or two. And it only ended up costing about $13 to ship it, because even though it's kind of elongated, it doesn't go oversized for priority mail, and it didn't weigh too much. So $13 to ship it, I'm happy with those. I've probably sold 20 or 25 massagers so far in my career, so I'll keep selling them. They always seem to move pretty quickly. And some of them can go for like 100. Here's a CD here. This is like a 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've sold this book before, and I've sold an audiobook, and then I've sold this one now as well. I think it's an audio set. This one sold for 10 shipped. Not a whole lot, but again, if you can find it, or it's in a big CD, it might be worth your time. $10 shipped on that. War of the Monsters for PS2. Really good game. I'd never heard of it, which is why I picked it up when I was buying some video games. I think I had $3 in it. Didn't look it up, just thought I've never seen this game before, so it looks like something that someone might want. And it was. It ended up selling for 25 shipped. So even though I have sold video games probably the longest of anything that I've been doing eBay for, I've primarily focused on them for so long because it's what I find to be the most fun to sell. There are still games every once in a while that pop up that I've never heard of, and this was one of them. So might be something to keep an eye out for. This one I'm going to show you guys, and it actually got returned. This is the Shaw Collection DVD set. It's a BBC TV one. It's 13 bucks. I listed this thing, and I put it was in region 1 in the item description, and it's not. It's region like 2 or something like that. So I don't know why I didn't catch that. I've mentioned on other videos before to do it, but for whatever reason I missed it. Someone bought it, thought it was region 1. It wouldn't work on their DVD player, and they returned it. So we are going to relist it. I haven't listed it yet, but I'm going to relist it with the right region code. Hopefully someone will still buy it, maybe through global shipping or something like that. But when you are selling DVDs, especially if it's a box set that's, you know, from BBC or maybe from another country or something like that, you got to be careful because the region codes are really important. We have 2 OEM Carina and Celica Toyota manuals here. These were from the $500 manual buy. These were listed at 60 shipped, but I took a best offer of 35. They've been up for quite a while, guys. I don't have time to keep all these manuals forever, and 35 shipped seemed like a pretty good deal, so happy to get rid of those. Menace to Society. This is like a soundtrack cassette with a bunch of different artists on there, but for whatever reason when I scanned it, it seemed to have some value. Got $13.49 on that guy. I think those cost about $2.80 to ship out medium mail. Here's an old Bible. This is probably one that I wouldn't pick up again. It's a self-pronouncing edition, definitely an older one. It was also falling apart. This was a buck or two at an estate sale. I thought it would go for more. It was listed for $12 with free shipping, and it still didn't sell, but it finally sold on sale with 22% off for $9.35. So kind of not so great there. A set of socks. These are Jurassic Park and Minions pairs. I told you guys about the sock buy. I'm not going to go over it again, but $1 each into these. So $2, and they ship out for 15 shipped. Go out first class shipping for probably $4. So the socks have been such a great deal. I wish I had more, and I wish I would have bought the more that were there of the smaller sizes. Here's a Bible that is worth picking up. I've sold 2 of these now. These are the Zondervan Amplified Bible. I actually just sold one this past week or so. You guys will see it in the future video whenever we get to that. But look out for these 1980 style Amplified Bibles. They do really well. This one sold for 70 shipped. I paid $12.50 for it. I bought 2 Bibles that day for 25 bucks. I was paying up because I knew what I was getting, and this one sold for 70 shipped, which is awesome. I did end up shipping it at padded flat rate. Just put some bubble around it, put it in there just so I get the priority mail shipping. You get the free insurance, and figured to get there a little quicker. Even though my listing said medium mail for the shipping option for the free, I always upgrade if it's a higher dollar item. I always upgrade if I can, if it's worth it. That way the person gets there a little bit quicker, and hopefully prevents any issues from coming up. Here's some more of those Mervin's California Missions buildings. You guys probably have seen these in a prior video. I'm not sure if it was the last one or not, but this one ended up selling for $44.99, and the person bought the next one here for $44.99. We had $5 in each of these. They bought 2 from me about a couple days ago before this one sold. Once they arrived, they ordered 2 more from me, so they basically spent $180 shipped on these Mervin's buildings before within like a week of me listing them. So that was awesome. I still have 2 left and 1 more sold. You guys will see that later. I still had 1 more, but I guess they bought all they needed because they haven't bought those 2 yet. Motorstorm Ps3 Game. This one sold for $7.19, which I thought was gonna go a little bit quicker. I had it listed at $9, but it sat for a long time and then finally sold for that $7. Here's some Nintendo Connects figures. There's a couple of Donkey Kongs, a Diddy Kong, Toad, and a Bowser. Well, the donkey's missing a hand on one of them, and I think one of the toads might be missing something. One other one is missing a part. These were just in a big toy bag that I had for like $2. I bought it because there were some Pokemon toys in there, and then I saw these, lotted them together, and they ended up selling for 15 shipped. Some of the Mario Connect stuff does do really well. If you like the track and everything, you can make some good money. But again, just took an idea to lot them together, and it paid off. iPhone XR Blue 64 gig box sold for $9. Again, I've told you guys I still sell these boxes, but I'm kind of cutting back a little bit on really picking them up unless they're free or just thrown into a situation. I only try to buy the new stuff. It seems like the market's full of them now, and not as many people are buying them. So if you find a newer one or you can get them for free, it might be worth your time. But usually they're only worth about 9, 10, maybe $12 at best. Some 1973 Ford manuals. These ones sold for $42.49 for the 5 of them. They were listed at $50, took a best offer of $42.49 or something like that. Maybe it was on sale. Either way, happy to get rid of them. We couldn't find one manual. I remember it took forever, but it's because it was right in front of my face and I didn't pay attention to what I was looking for because it was a really thin manual. I thought it was thicker. So here's a World of Warcraft Arthas Rise of the Lich King book. This is from the My Pet Monster Buy as well. This one sold for $25 shipped on a full price sale. I don't know why this book is so valuable. I wouldn't think it would be, but for whatever reason it sold really well. There were people selling theirs with a stock photo for $8, which again, you could do. Maybe time-wise it'd be better if you're getting so many bulk books to do that, but if you're not, go ahead and take a decent picture and get the money that you can out of it, because someone obviously paid more because they could see my item, you know, they knew what they were getting and they trusted that probably a little bit more. Here's an awesome thing that I got from Salvation Army's online auction they were doing. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were during the quarantine. I picked up this one for $30 plus the shipping, which was like $8 media mail. This is a Star Wars Trilogy Laserdisc set. I ended up selling these for $120 shipped. And I ended up shipping mine out priority or FedEx. I think it cost like $18 or something like that. So I paid a little bit more on shipping, but we probably walked away with $50-$60 on this guy. And I got it again from an online deal from Salvation Army. So pretty cool. It was a way to get a couple of new items while during the quarantine and everything. And it didn't take too long to sell, maybe a month or two, whatever it was, but definitely was a good deal. Here is a Twisted Metal Sweet Tooth RC car. It does not have the remote. Sure was cool. I used to play Twisted Metal back in the day, so I knew what it was right when I saw it. Couldn't find the remote and all the stuff I bought. This is from the My Pet Monster Buy. Thought I'd be able to maybe order a remote, but there weren't really any available that were affordable and just didn't seem like it'd be worth waiting. So I listed mine for parts and it sold for $45 shipped on a best offer. I'm guessing someone probably just bought it for display or for their collection. You know, a lot of people probably don't actually go around and use it who wants to buy a Sweet Tooth RC car. It wasn't that great of an RC car. It's just more the nostalgia, I guess, or collectability of it. So $45 shipped on that one. Some Maxell cassettes. These ones sold for $11.04. These are the CD style ones, and the same buyer also bought these 4 Sony CDIT Pros, which are a little better CD cassettes. These ones sold for $31.44 for 4 of them. So the person bought both. They were in for about $40-something on this one, and it shipped out, I think, priority in a padded flat rate. I put them in a little box and then put them in a padded flat rate, and they shipped out. So awesome deal. Old media does sell. Some of it's kind of come down in price, though. There was a time when you guys could buy any kind of sealed VHS, any kind of sealed tape, and you could move it and make tons of money, but that's changed. It's really dropped down some. There are still certain types, though, that have a lot of value, so keep an eye out. And you can still sell the more common ones. It's just better to get a nice lot of them before you sell them. Some Terminator DVDs. These are also from the My Pet Monster Buy. These 3 sold for $20 shipped. I think 2 of them were sealed and 1 of them was opened. I just lotted them all together and got 20 shipped, which I thought was a really great deal because other people had the same lot up and they were getting like 15 shipped. So I was surprised I even got the 20 that I was asking. Here are 5 Wii empty cases. These are for pretty good games for the Wii, though. Mario Party, Super Smash, Super Mario Bros. Wii, Super Mario Galaxy, and Zelda. I lotted them all together, thinking I'd probably get like, I don't know, 30 shipped on them, 25 shipped maybe at the time. They've sat for a long time. Someone offered 20 and said they need 4 of the 5 cases. They're willing to pay $20. They still want the extra one, though, as a backup. And I said, sure, I'll sell them. They ended up still going out, I think, at like a padded flat rate or just a little over £1. So I didn't really make a whole lot of money, but hopefully it helped that person with their collection and it got them out of the inventory. Next time I'd probably just hold on to them until I found the game, because I do find a lot of loose Wii games, and I would have just held on until I found them, and then I could have made it a complete setup with that. James Cameron's Avatar. This is a PS3 game we paid $2 for, and it sold for 12 shipped. Took a while to sell. Obviously my price was probably too high on it. That's why it didn't sell at the $15 that it was listed. Usually on PS3 games, if it's something unique I haven't seen, I'm willing to pay about $2 on it and take a chance. Not just PS3, that's pretty much any video game. If there's a video game I've never heard of for a system, and I'm like, I don't really recognize this one, and I can't look it up, or I don't want to take the time. If it's $2, a lot of times I'll just take a chance. Chances are it's, you know, might be valuable, could be worth your time. If it's worth $8 or more, we'll still make some money on it. If it's not, then I just throw it into the wholesale lot that I do, and what I do is, once I have a bunch of PS3 or a bunch of Wii games by one system that are not really worth a whole lot, I just sell them in one big lot and usually make about $1 a game on those. So For this one, I ended up paying 2. It took a while, but we got 12 shipped on it. This is really cool. I got a bunch of these like challenge coins. I got like 7 or 8 of them for $8, which was awesome from one of my sources. This one's the only one to sell though. It was an anti-submarine warfare training coin. There were none listed like it. I listed mine for 60 because something kind of comparable was selling for about 40 or 50 bucks. I listed mine for 60 and someone came through and bought it in about 3 weeks. So it took a little while. Obviously it didn't sell instantly, so I don't think I underpriced it or anything like that. But 60 bucks for the coin. We spent $8 on all of them. There were a couple coins that had really no value, and the rest I think I listed for 20 to about 40 bucks each. So they'll probably sell eventually. There are challenge coins worth a ton of money, but they're obviously harder to find. Super Smash Bros. Brawl sold for 20 shipped for the Wii. Not much to say, just a really easy game to look out for. Some RCA Sealed Media, like I just mentioned. These ones sold for 18 shipped for 5 of them. These cost about 8 or 9 bucks to ship it. We make about 5 or 6 bucks. Usually I don't buy a set like this unless it's like a buck or two maybe. And I'm kind of really slowing it down when I'm buying the sealed media, just because you're not making enough in a set like this. Now, granted, if you had a 10-pack and you're selling it for 35 shipped, and you pay $5 on it, you can make a little bit more because the shipping's still not much more for 5 extra VHS. Concert for George. This is a DVD set. It sold for 20 shipped. I've sold this one twice. I'd love to find it again because both times it sold really quickly. Here's a Polaroid Land SX70 camera. Got this from storage unit guy from one of his sales. It's a beat up and tattered camera. You can tell by the top of it in the picture. It just messed up. Didn't really close right. I sold it to the old Polaroid buyer that everyone probably knows who's been reselling for a while, Retrospect. They spent 70 bucks on this. We had spent, I don't know, I probably had about 5 or 10 bucks in it when you factored out everything else I bought, but it still sold for 70 shipped in one day. I shipped it in the pad of flat rate as well, so awesome deal there. Look out for the SX70s. There's a leather one, like a brown leather, that comes in like a little brown case. That one does well. A lot of them are valuable. Here's a Wwe Slam Stars. This one I paid $2 for. It's Becky Lynch. She sold for 19 shipped. Box was damaged, but still sold pretty quickly. The British Are Coming Volume 1 CD sold for 15 shipped from the Rock and Roll Buy. Here's a really good sale. These are the American Chess Quarterly books. Some of you may remember I bought a bunch of chess books from Facebook Marketplace. There were, was it 6 chess book boxes, like the small Home Depot boxes, full, and we spent $10 a box, so 60 bucks in all. And I've made quite a bit of money from them. We've probably sold, I want to say, $600 or $700 on eBay, plus my wife has probably sold $300 on Amazon, so it was quite a bit of money. This one sold for 85 shipped, just a bunch of little quarterly look magazines, really thin, not a whole lot to them, and we still have some chess books left too, so hopefully those will sell. Soul Blade PS1 sold for $16.99. Had a damaged case as well, but we got 17 shipped on that. A really valuable game that I didn't really know was so valuable, but I think the quarantines influenced this one a little bit. This is the No Mercy WWF for the Nintendo 64. This one sold for 37 shipped, which was an awesome deal. I feel like it wasn't always worth that much, but maybe I'm mistaken, but I was happy when I looked it up and saw that kind of price. Here are some Sony PS2 8 megabyte memory cards, 4 of them. I always lot these 4 together if I can find them. I usually get them in bulk, like when I buy a big video game lot, there'll be a bunch of loose memory cards. I'll lot them together, and they sell anywhere for about 20 to 25 bucks. These ones sold on sale for $21.24. Here is a Dymomite tape writer. It's like an old, I don't know, like make labels or something on it. It's like an old style one. And I guess this was in a big buy. I spent 10 bucks from a guy. He buys storage units. I'm trying to build a relationship with him. He's a newer guy. Him and his wife do it. And I've mentioned to you guys this before, but when you start finding someone who is buying storage units, they're not just having a regular garage sale. See if you can kind of build a connection with them. And that's what I've been doing with this guy. And they finally had a sale again, and I showed up, and I got basically all their leftover junk that they hadn't sold through. I made this huge pile, and it was like 10 or 15 bucks for all of it. This was in there, and it sold for 45 shipped. Here's an Aerosmith concert songbook here. This one sold for 25. This is from the Rock and Roll Buy. Again, bought all those rock and roll stuff, and they still keep paying off. Here is a wonderful puzzle Rubik's Cube. It comes in the box. It's not brand new though, but it came with the box. This one sold for 20 shipped. This was also from a storage unit thing. I just threw it in there, and it ended up selling like overnight, really quickly. A Star Wars Saga Legends 501st Legion Trooper sold for $38.24. Not really, you know, anything fancy about the figure. It's just a generic Stormtrooper looking guy, but sold for 38 bucks still, which is pretty cool. What I'd say about Star Wars is the 90s ones don't seem to have as great as value, but the ones in the 2000s, like the mid 2000s, I've done really well on some of those. So people always think the 90s ones are going to be super valuable, but it seems like the market's a little flooded on those. Some Audubon Society Pocket Reptiles books. There's 4 of them. We paid, I think, $1 each for these at the books library sale, and they sold for $16.19 on sale. Go on Media Mail. Some Ping Golf Club I2 Black Dot irons. This is the 2 through 9, I believe. This one ended up selling for $145 shipped. They were on sale, I think, for 15% off. Really great deal. Definitely happy with it. I love selling golf clubs. Seem to be, once you start learning the brands and different ones to look out for, you can make some good money. I got $145 on these, and it only cost us like $19 to ship them, which was pretty good as well. Time Life, The Enchanted World, 3 books, sold for $16.19. These books would have done a lot better, but they were kind of beat up, so they took a while to sell. A silver PSP sold for $100 shipped. I had to buy a charger, I think, for this one because I did not have it. It does work, but the battery door, like, it wouldn't close perfectly. I had to put a little piece of tape on there. I put that in the listing, and it still sold for $100. Never got good feedback, but didn't get bad feedback either. A Lego Bionicle. This is from the $1,600 Toy Buy as well. It was brand new sealed from 2008, and it sold for $849. You definitely can make some money on sealed Lego. Not Lego, Happy Meal toys. That's what this was. I've sold 2 or 3 of them now, and I think Rca Treasure Center made a whole video. If you haven't seen him, I've been enjoying his channel lately, but he made a whole video about how you can make money on these little Happy Meals, and I've sold quite a few of them now. They don't sell for much more than 10 bucks usually if it's a common one, but certain ones have a little more value. Might be worth your time if you can find them for cheap, or you have some lying around, you can list them. So that's it though, guys. We're already at 26 minutes. It's been way too long. There were a lot of items to get through. Like I said before, I like showing you guys everything because whatever stage you are in your business, sometimes you can only find some lower dollar things, and sometimes those lower things are the bread and butter that really kind of keep the business afloat and things going. And even if you're only making a few bucks a sale, it still might be worth your time to list them. So hope you guys are doing well. We're out on vacation here, so we're going to go enjoy some time with the family. We may be another video here before we leave though, so that'll be hopefully pretty cool if I could show you guys around. So maybe I'll try to get some clips of the outside so you can see what we're looking at. But I hope you and your families are doing well. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.